So I'm shooting this a different week than it's going to go up on YouTube. So hopefully, and I doubt anything will change, but hopefully nothing changes between now and now, if that makes any sense. This video, the last couple of videos I did were serious. But I kind of wanted to lighten it up a little bit. Not that this is necessarily what I would consider light. But especially recently, I've noticed that a lot of people that talk to me about games specifically want to complain about them. And I totally understand. I love to complain. I'm really good at it. So I decided that I was going to take some of my favorite games that I have plenty of good things to say about, and I'm gonna do kind of a rant video. Okay, great, there it is. So that's where we're gonna go with that. And I have literal notes. I have notes. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna do. It really just depends on how long it takes me to do my makeup, because I can always do another video of grapes. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I'm Jack Roja, and I talk about what I want to talk about when I do makeup. And it varies. Sometimes it's video games, sometimes it's historical something, sometimes it's a pop culture, blah, blah, blah. You know, you get the idea. And I've done a lot of serious videos recently, and I don't want to do more serious so fast. So I'm going to do these game gripes. You'll probably agree with some and disagree with others, but that's the joy of this sort of video. So the way I decided which games I was going to do the gripes about were, I'm starting with the 4 games that I write fan fiction for. Like, yeah, I write fan fiction. 2 of them are safe for work. Well, no, but they have violence in them, but 2 of them are not smutty and 2 of them are smutty. So reader discretion advised. So I just dropped something and I have no idea what I dropped. Anyway, so the first game I'm gonna start with, I really don't have a whole lot to say about, and that is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I don't really have a lot to gripe about it. Like, I really like it. I have it on the PS3, and then when it went on special on the PS4 for like the Game of the Year edition for like $25, jumped on it. And honestly, I will probably keep buying it as long as I'm that guy. Todd Howard said, he was like, oh, you know, we'll stop releasing it when people stop buying it. I'm one of the people who's buying it. And this comes up a lot too. So for those of you who don't know, I have an arrow in the knee tattoo. Let's see if I can do this without dying. See, arrow in the knee tattoo. And people will talk to me about it, and they're like, oh, I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee. It's in. I swear to God, it's in the knee. It is. And if you talk about Skyrim with me and I'm cringing, chances are you said arrow to the knee, and that's me being a gross elitist bitch that I should not do. But I do it. I'll admit it. What else? I have my fan going on high speed because it's either hot in this room or freezing in this room. So I do have the Dragonborn DLC. I run into issues with just because it's tedious. I'm really impatient though, so like the 3rd or 4th Dragon Soul that what's his face takes, I'm done. I just reload a save and don't play it. And I know a lot of it is just me being impatient and not an actual flaw with the game, but I'm gonna act like it's the game. Okay. And I don't really have much of a complaint about it. It was one of the earliest video games that I got, and it always kind of cracked me up that like you just wind up rolling all of these factions, even factions that don't make sense within each other. So yeah, you run the Bards College, and you run the Thieves Guild, and you run the Dark Brotherhood, and you run the companions. It's a lot. And especially if you play, like, because I play an Altmer, so it doesn't really make sense that a High Elf would walk in and just take over all these things, but here we are. Thanks, Bethesda. So I probably just shifted dramatically position, because I forgot to pull out eyelashes for this, so I actually had to go over to my handy dandy. I have like a literal tub of eyelashes, so I had to pull eyelashes out. So, let me get this down. So, I have opinions on the next game, like, opinions. This is going to be one of the longer two, I think. So, the Fallout games. So I never finished 1 and 2, the ones that you have to play on PC. I, for some reason, could not get my screen bright enough to actually be able to see what was going on, so like I couldn't read the speech, the text, and everything like that. So those are games that I just like read up on and not actually played to their end. Fallout 4. Fallout 4. Now, before anyone asks, Escape the Vault, my cosplay, Escape the Vault cosplay, yes, it comes from Fallout. So I have hella opinions about Fallout. We're gonna do with Fallout 4 though this time. I'm only gonna do one Fallout game in this video, as much as I would love to eviscerate. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm not. I love these games. So my biggest problem with Fallout 4 is how much I feel like it relies on Fallout 3. So if you play Fallout 3, you know, you go through all that, you go through the storyline, you do the side quests, some interesting things happen, and if you don't have broken steel, you die. If you do have broken steel, you get knocked out and you wake up later, and you have to help the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, I personally feel that Fallout 4 relies too much on you having played Fallout 3. What do you mean, Jack? Here we go. So, I was talking to a friend who did not play Fallout 3. Fallout 4 was their first Fallout game, which is valid. And they thought that Liberty Prime was kind of random. They're like, why does the Brotherhood of Steel have this giant ass robot? And I was like, let me explain. So of course, Liberty Prime they use in Fallout 3 to defeat the Enclave. You have to help them get Liberty Prime up and running, etc., etc., etc. And it's just kind of, I feel like it was an afterthought in 4, like, oh, you know, these people are going to want a good Fallout game. Like, how do we appeal to them? Appeal to what they've already seen. So I feel like Liberty Prime was a really just kind of, I don't want to say half-ass, because there's no way animating that was easy, but I feel like Liberty Prime doesn't make much sense if you didn't do Fallout 3. Maybe it did. I don't know. This is just the talk that I had with that one specific friend, but that's my biggest right there. All right, my next gripe about Fallout 4, and this is a tough one for me. So, I romance MacCready on Fallout 4. I guess he's my type or whatever. But he's another throwback to 3, and I feel like he makes a lot of references to stuff that would have happened in Fallout 3, that if you didn't play Fallout 3, you're like, why is this punk-ass kid the mayor of a small town? You know, without, you know, knowing about Mungos and Little Lamplight and Big Town and all that stuff like that. But he makes plenty of references to it. And then there's even the Creation Club, that's the Tunnel Snakes. So MacCready to me could have been literally any other character without having to rely on that stuff from Fallout 3. if you've played Fallout 4 and spent any time with the Brotherhood of Steel on the Prydwen, you will hear, especially Elder Maxon, talking some serious smack about Elder Lyons. Who Elder Lyons was the elder in Fallout 3 in the Capital Wasteland, and now Elder Maxon is running shit up in Boston. Why? It's just, the references aren't necessary, and it's just one more thing that if you haven't played Fallout 3, you're like, why don't you like him? What's going on? Which, of course, if you played Fallout 3, you know that the DC Brotherhood of Steel has kind of veered off the beaten path for the Brotherhood of Steel. So, yeah, a lot of them do see Elder Lyons as problematic, but without having seen that, I don't think that makes any sense. Well, I mean, the Brotherhood of Steel is problematic anyway, but when I read the synopsis of Automaton, I was mad. I was legit mad. I was like, really? We're the Mechanist again? Now, of course, if you haven't played Fallout 3, or maybe you didn't run into that encounter, the Mechanist in Fallout 3 is like stuck in this ongoing battle with another the Mechanist is like this big like robot science, and then there's Antagonizer, which is a woman in a giant ant costume, and these two just have showdowns, never-ending showdowns. So yes, granted, the Mechanist is a female in the DLC. I feel like that was another thing where if you played Fallout 3, you're like, oh yeah, this idea again. Whereas I don't think it makes any sense in the Fallout out of context. Yeah, I know that opinion I don't share with a whole lot of people, but I remember, yeah, seeing it and I was mad. Which brings me to my next point. Far Harbor. Well, this is the one that's gonna get me into trouble. Because everybody loves Nick Valentine. Everybody loves old robot grandpa Nick Valentine. And I like him too. I'm no different. But Far Harbor, to me, is repackaged Point Lookout. Well, and you know, it's a different area. You know, the cult is different. But when it comes down to it, it's somebody's daughter, this lady's daughter, this couple's daughter, runs off, like gets on a boat and runs off to this like beach town. And it's just it feels very like Nick Valentine is like, I feel like really what's different. You have the cult and like tripping balls. You got to do like this quest. And 4, it's to find you follow the mother or the spirit to the mother. In Point Lookout, you have like part of your brain taken. I was mad. That was another DLC I was mad about. And then bringing Madison Lee back into things, I just feel like that was, because you can tell, if you've played the game, you can tell when you're talking to Madison Lee that she is important in the scheme of things. So without that knowledge of watching her with Project Purity and all that stuff, I think her presence there doesn't make any sense. But she can eat a bag of dicks, and I always blow her up at the end of the game, so that's a small reassurance. Here's one that really gets me, like really gets me. And if I look really awkwardly, I'm trying to do eyeliner. Oh, I guess I can do it in the mirror above you. MacReady's hypocrisy drives me up the wall. So for those of you who don't know, or you haven't done both side quests, or you haven't played 4 yet, MacReady is a potential travel companion. It is what it is. And so his personal quest, because they all have personal quests, some are better than others, but his personal quest is to go to this medical research place and there's like 1 dose of this cure that should cure his son, because his son has this disease with like blue boils or whatever on it. And he wants to get this 1 dose of cure. He's going to get it back to a friend of his, Daisy and good neighbor, and he wants to get it back to his son. So cool. You do the quest, you go to the medical research place, you get this cure, you go back to Daisy, and she says that she'll send it on a caravan down to DC for Duncan, his kid. So, I mean, that's all well and good. However, this is what drives me nuts. So, for those of you who have found Vault 81, you know that there's 2 sides to the vault. They were doing medical research and all this stuff. And the main vault was cut off from the science part of the vault by the original overseer, because she figured out what was going on and she was not about what Vault-Tec was trying to pull. So she shut the whole thing down. Well, there's a kid named Austin who lives in this vault. He's one of the first people you meet. He gives you a little guided tour. And you go and you visit a couple of times and, you know, you talk to people or whatnot. The 3rd or 4th visit, you find out that Austin is sick. And so this other guy who lives in the vault, who's a complete druggie, had like a little hole in the wall where his stash was. Austin found the hole, went into the other side of the vault, got sick. So what you have to do to help Austin is you have to go into the other side of the vault and you track down this medication that will make him feel better. Pretty straightforward. There's not really any. If you get this last dose, or the only dose of this experimental cure, and you give it to Austin, MacReady disapproves. Basically the same as his personal quest, disapproves. I will never get over that. I will die mad about that. I will die incredibly mad about that, because that doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense because if you look up, because they have sources where you can look up and be like, okay, well, Strong likes when you help like settlements and stuff like that, because the super mutants are brothers or whatnot, so he approves that. Nick Valentine likes when you help people. MacReady likes when you steal. Kate likes when you steal. So I looked up, because I was curious, so I looked up what things MacReady likes. He likes sarcastic responses. He doesn't really like bribes because he sees it as a waste of caps. And he likes when you help kids and families. So that, combined with the fact that his personal mission is like the same exact thing, but he doesn't like it. He disapproves. And I will die mad about that. I will never get over that. I will complain about that to anyone who will listen to me. Thanks. Yeah, it's only one side of the Fallout 4 paper. So, and I'm gonna get some shit for this one. The sheer existence of Kate drives me bonkers. I don't like her. I think she's a caricature of a character. I think they were like, oh, we're in Boston. We need the obligatory violent Irish girl. And so they made Kate. Oh, I'm gonna need to tone that down. Also, the fact that her accent is so strong drives me nuts. But though what really drives me crazy is if you cure Kate, so if you take her to the vault and you cure her, and so she doesn't have any addiction anymore, and she's free to go, she will become an insufferable bitch anytime you use chems or alcohol. Like, she gets really holier than thou, and it's just like, girl, calm the fuck down. Calm down. You literally have been doing the same thing since you were 18. Because your parents sold her off when she was 18. So, like, all of a sudden you're going to turn around and you're going to lecture me, you're going to disapprove of when I use chems? No, it's not. Oh, God. I'm so bad at eye makeup. But, you know, I don't play like that. So I hate that she does that. And she gets really, really nasty about it too. Like, dang it, like, I don't want to say who hurt you, because we know who hurt her, but Jesus Christmas, you know? Now, one of my opinions that gets me into trouble with Fallout 4, there's no real, so like in Fallout 3, there's a karma system. So you can be a good guy, a neutral guy, a bad guy. You can side with the Brotherhood, or you can side with the Enclave. Like, it's a lot more black and white. Whereas 4 is kind of like who's really the good guy? Who's really the bad guy? Is there a good guy? Is there a bad guy? Is it all shades of gray? I mean, I don't think so. I think the Minutemen are generally good people, but like the Railroad, like, how far is the Railroad willing to go to do there? And then of course the same thing with the Institute and the Brotherhood Steel. Especially because I have friends who just hardcore like the Brotherhood Steel, regardless of what they do in what games. They just really like the faction. And that's cool. That's fine. But there's not really, I guess I should say that none of the factions are really rewarding. I don't want to say they suck, because they don't suck. But none of them are like when I choose the Railroad, I don't feel good about it afterwards. It's just, I mostly do it so I can watch the Institute get blown sky high. Bye, Sean. Bye. And then another thing that really gets me, going from factions to back to companions, I don't know how many of you have done Curie's personal thing where you get her put in a synth body. A lot of her stats are weaker after you do that. Like, I feel like the character should get stronger after you do their thing, like basically every other game. But no, they don't. I think it's her health goes down, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. And I think her melee I guess that also makes sense. It goes down enough though that if you travel with her frequently, I think it's a bad idea to do it. As much of an asshole as that probably makes me sound. And then, so the settlements. People love to complain about the settlements, or say positive. People like to talk about settlements. I don't hate the fact that there are like settlement quests. My gripe with them is that I feel like, especially if you are in the middle of something else, so an example I will use is the Vault-Tec workshop, because that is an easy one to get caught up in. And the next thing you know, you're being told that you failed the protection quest. I feel like for a game that really places an emphasis on the settlements, that they should make it easier for you to protect them. Like, I really feel like there's been numerous times where I'll be in the middle of a quest, or I'll be in the middle of a quest that has me inside of a dungeon. So, like McCready's side quest that I already talked about, or I feel like if you're in the middle of it, you're automatically gonna fail out whatever protection quest you're given. And I think that, I mean, don't let it lollygag, but I don't think it needs to be as short as it is. And I really hate when I'm in the middle of something and I see that, 10 Pine Bluffs needs your help, or is under attack. Good job, guys. Good luck. Because I'm not coming to help you. And this is such a, my last gripe about 4 is so stupid. And I know it's stupid. I think the first Deathclaw fight that you have is too easy. I mean, you can't have a super hard fight that early, but I think, especially if you are new to the games and you don't understand how much Deathclaws sucks. Deathclaws suck. I think that first Deathclaw fight makes it seem like, oh, they're no big deal, you know, they're big, but whatever. Yeah. So, that's my gripe about that one. And that's actually all my gripes about Fallout 4. 2 pages worth, double spaced, but that's all of them for now. So, the next game I'm going to talk about is technically multiple games. We're just going to cover the whole franchise. Because I don't have a whole ton of gripes about any one of the games, but I do have, like, overall gripes. The Fallout 4, I do write fanfic for that one, and that one's not smutty. The descriptions of violence, but nothing, you know. But the next group of games that, I'm a mess today. This is like the 4th black makeup mess I've made. Okay, no, but you really need to get off my fingers so I can do the rest of my makeup. So the Dragon Age games are my next. I love them. I love the Dragon Age games. I love them so much. That's why I'm gonna do the. I do that. That doesn't work. Why I'm gonna do the combination gripes. Because if I had to do any one game, there wouldn't really be enough to. Oh god, I hate doing earlier. I should have done this off camera. And a lot of my gripes about Dragon Age are really just stupid. So the first one I could go with, and I feel like this is pretty universal, is fuck the Fade. I hate the Fade so much. I hate it. Like, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's not good. It's well done. It actually is well done. Oh my god, my eyeliner is a fucking mess. But I hate the Fade so much. Like, it's awkward, it's awkward, and you gotta run around, and it's never straightforward in the Fade. If that makes any sense. Like, it's not like, oh, we're gonna go in the Fade and do this and come back. It's never how it works. We're gonna go into the Fade, take 15 detours, and then maybe come back. Maybe. So in Origins is actually the Dragon Age game that I played the least. I played it first because when I picked it, yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition had not come out. Yeah, I think Mass Effect 3, all the Mass Effect games had come out, but Inquisition hadn't come out. So I picked up Origins. It was the Origins Awakening combo platter game. And I was still kind of new to video games. I'm a very late bloomer when it comes to video games. And there were a couple of situations where I could tell, like, I wasn't used to BioWare shit yet, but I could tell I need to look this up and make sure I don't somebody. And it was, and I still have not, and I know it's simple. I know it's actually simple if I take 2 seconds to read it. But the whole hardened versus unhardened characters in Origins kind of, like, and of course the only one I really care about is Alistair, because I always play human noble rogue. So I can be queen. That's all I want. I just want to be queen. Which doesn't matter because you disappear anyway. Oh my god, I hate doing eyeliner. I hate doing eyeliner on the camera because I can't see the mirror. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, George, Fred. Okay, is that better? No. No, but really, fuck the Fade though. God, hate the Fade. It's okay in Inquisition. I've gotten to the point where I've played it that part so many times that I take different people just to hear the dialogue. If you take multiple warriors, or if you just want to take different people each time, Cassandra has really good dialogue. She obviously has the unique dialogue with Justinian. Dorian, of course, doesn't take anything seriously, so he's hilarious. When Nightmare compares him to his father, he's just like, rude. Damn. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's maybe 5 or 10 minutes too long. That's a complaint with a lot of stuff that I have, though. Then, when you're done with the Fade, the Deep Roads. No. I love that in Dragon Age 2, people's opinions, people dislike it if you take them into the Fade. I see it 100%. I see why. It's fucking awful. Awful. Where's I need my foundation brush. And this is easy for me to say also. So I was one of those people, I listened to people when they're like, oh, you know, you don't need to play Dragon Age 2. It's repetitive. All the dungeons are exactly the same, which all of the alleys in Dragon Age Origins are the same too, so knock that off. But the story itself, I like the fact that it's in 3 acts. I like that there's clear boundaries between each section. I feel like there's a lot going on. Like, I get that it's related, but there's just a lot going on. And then you have the interpersonal relationships that, like the romances versus the rivalmances. I hate that the rivalmances, if you don't do it exactly right, you have to kill the person at the end. I don't like have to kill off characters. Like, I really don't like having to kill off characters that I don't think that there's really a sound reason to kill off. So Anders, his rivalmance not being high enough makes sense because he's a whiny little fucker who didn't cause all of this, because none of them are completely innocent, but he caused enough of a problem. I always play Mage Hawk, so fuck Anders. So it's like one of those things where you have to pay attention in a BioWare game anyway, but I feel like with Dragon Age 2, that's like even more so that you have to pay attention. I fucking poke my eyeball. So the shards in Inquisition. So when I say I'm gonna complain about them, the fact that they exist doesn't bother me. It's actually kind of interesting, and I like the fact that there's like the temple that you have to open with them and everything like that, and you get bonuses like resistances and stuff like that. I'm all cool with that. There are a couple of maps though where I feel like the shards are in difficult places for the sake of being difficult. If that makes any sense. Like, we could put this shard here and make it kind of hard to get to, or we could put the shard up inside of this fucking mountain, and if you look at it sideways, you're gonna fall and insta-die. There's a difference there. Like I said, I don't mind like searching them all down, and it's like kind of like a puzzle. You know, I'm down with game puzzles. I'm down with that. So this next, I had to burp right there. This next complaint of mine doesn't really have to do with Dragon Age, but I have to bring it up. And that's Greg fucking Ellis. Not going into it. Greg Ellis. Next. The eyebrows. Oh my god, the eyebrows. In the Dragon Age games. Oh, fucking. What? I want to know, and of course I don't make video games, so this is real easy for me to sit back and be like, oh my god, these eyebrows, what did you do these eyebrows for? But seriously, so these eyebrows are so bad. There's like 2 or 3 sets of eyebrows that I believe are genuine, like here's some serious eyebrows. My makeup bag is down here. Oh no. And all the rest of them I just am incredulous that they made it onto the game. Like, I don't, again, easy for me to say that I don't make video games, but Jesus, I hope in the Mass Effect Legendary Edition we have better eyebrows. I'm not holding out hope though. And it's easy for me to sit here and rattle off pages and pages about games, but I do want to emphasize I actually do really love all these games. That's why I'm doing gripes about these games and not gripes that I don't like, because maybe I'll do it. You know what? I think next video I'll do a things that I like about all of these games. I should not be doing blush first. I should be doing bronzer first. So yeah. The Descent, the DLC, hate it, and it's another one of those, it's hard for the sake of being hard, and it doesn't add it. I feel like it doesn't add anything to the game. That's just my personal opinion. I know people who love it, like 3 people who love it. So that's the end of that. The Winter Palace outfits. Okay, so I understand that that the Inquisitor and all their friends should have a theme to their outfits, but I hate the military looking outfits. Like, to me, that doesn't scream, we're going to this ball for peace talks. That screams, you know, we're the Inquisition. We're gonna, like, why? There couldn't be like a suit version and a dress version. Like, I don't. That's what fanfic is for. I was talking to a friend of mine and we both agreed that's what fanfic is for. So in my Dragon Age fic, they're all gonna wear really pretty outfits. Well, the girls are all gonna wear pretty dresses. The guys will probably get dude versions of the outfit. They might not all be the same, but you get the idea. So, saving the best for last. You may have noticed that I wore some garb over the shirt that I just realized I totally already shot a video in. Oops. But the next game that I absolutely love, that I'm gonna gripe about, is the Mass Effect games. And just like the Dragon Age games, I am just clumping them all together. I'm not gonna do separate rants for each game because that doesn't make any sense. And honestly, I don't have a lot of gripes with each game, so it would be a very short whatever I gotta do. I always do really exaggerated makeup for my online stuff. Like, I wouldn't actually wear this. At nighttime I would wear this maybe. Let me go. I just got a whole bunch of blush in my eye. I'm gonna go take care of that. Oh god. Oh no, I got blush in my eye. Let me get distracted, and now I'm putting glitter in my eye. Anyway, so like I said, I gotta remember not to do this so you guys don't see like this much of my face. I love the Mass Effect games. I love them, I love them, I love them. I have Paragon and Renegade tattoo. And I don't have a whole lot of overall complaints, but I have opinions. Anyway, so I think something that a lot of people agree on, regardless of how you feel about the games, is the Mako. It's so awkward. And I've tried to drive it like calmly, you know, only go exactly where I need to go, this, that, and the other thing. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible. It is impossible. It's so bad. I'm definitely glad that in the second and third game we have a shuttle, and not the Mako, because the Mako is just so clumsy and it's awkward to fight in. Like, I get they made it awkward to fight in to try to encourage you to get out of the Mako, because you get more experience if you get out of the Mako, but I'm a big old chicken. And I do what's called bowling for Geth, where I just run over everything. I run into sniper towers and knock the snipers down. Like, I don't. So, I mean, I guess there's a positive as far as that goes. Like, I ain't getting out of the Mako and fight, especially with the weather. Hazards. Like, I don't. If it's freezing cold outside, I'm not getting out of the Mako if I can just back over something multiple times. Speaking of environmental hazards, I feel like they didn't add anything in 1. Like, we didn't have them in 2 or 3, and I feel like we were okay without them in 2 or 3. Like, I don't think, you know, I don't know. Glitter. I wasn't originally going to do glitter on this, but I went to go fix the blush in my eye and I had glitter on the brush, and now I have glitter in my eye. What sucks is I know this glitter is not even going to stay. The other eyeshadows in this palette are great, but the glitter is not. Yes. So yeah, they're easy enough to work around. I personally don't like the environmental hazards. I hate them. Hate them. And this is one that I love to talk about. I understand that BioWare likes to make you make decisions. It's what makes the game your game. You might make the same decisions as me. You know, I make different decisions. Maybe we make some of the same, some different. But I hate the fact that, and I honestly, I don't know what the solution to this is, except maybe have more romance options. And you have to decide who survives Virmire based on who you want to sleep with. Like, a good portion of the time. So if you are a woman into women, you can be with Liara. If you're a man into women, you can be with Ashley. And if you're a woman into men, you can be with Kaidan. But there's no like male option. So if you sit down and play the game as a trilogy and you know later on that Kaidan is bisexual, then you save Kaidan. But I literally went onto Virmire. I mean, I wasn't Ashley's biggest fan, but I literally made the decision for Ash Williams to die based on the fact that I wanted my shepherd to romance Kaidan. And it's, I don't want to say it's early on in the game. It's really not early on in the game. But there's not enough time to talk to them, I don't think. So, like, I try to remember to talk to Ashley in between. But, like, the amount of time you get with each character is really unfortunate when it comes time to make one of the most terrible decisions in the game. And it's not like it's a regular, like, it is it's like game-changing game decision. And playing into that, and I know there's underlying facts, and I don't care about the underlying facts. I'm still allowed to be mad about this. Going back to what I said about the available romance options in the first game. Okay, if you're a woman into women, you can romance Liara. If you're a man into women, you can romance Ash. And if you're a woman into men, you can romance Kaidan. If you're a man attracted to men, a man attracted to men, you don't get a romance option in the first game unless you want to play as FemShep and romance Kaidan, but that's not the same thing. That's not how that works. And I know there was political stuff with it. Apparently the game is banned in Singapore because a woman can sleep with a blue alien, like that. Yeah. And my problem with this isn't BioWare's first game. Mass Effect 2 is not its second game. We've seen other games with these relationships as options. So it's something that we know that the company is comfortable doing and willingly does. But, you know, and then in 1, you don't have any options. Well, guess what? In Mass Effect 2, you have complicated side note. So through the main game romance, if you are a straight woman, you can romance Jacob, Thane, or Garrus. If you are a straight man, you can romance Tali, Miranda, or Jack. If you are a woman into women, you can kind of romance Kelly Chambers, but the problem with that is Kelly Chambers has to survive the Collector attack on the Normandy, like where you get to play as Joker. And let me tell you, that is a mess. Because I personally, and this is just me, I do not like doing the suicide mission with any non-loyal squad mate. When they're not loyal, their chances of survival goes down. Unless you put them in certain roles. So I don't like going into the suicide mission without Legion being loyal. And this is where that gets messed up, because everything in Mass Effect 2 is a countdown of some sorts. So when you get the first 4 squad mates, the first 4 main game squad mates, you trigger Horizon. Once Horizon happens, you have a 5, sometimes 6 mission countdown before you have to do the Collector ship. When you get the Reaper IFF, that's the mission where you get Legion. And there's another countdown. Depending on how many missions you do between the IFF and the Collector base, depends on how much of your crew is killed. Because after the IFF, they all were like, oh, we're all gonna go into the shuttle and, you know, make sure that nothing kills us. And then the crew gets taken over. It gets taken by the Collectors to get gooified. Now, if you immediately go to the Collector base, like immediately, your whole crew will survive. And then if you are a woman into women, you can have, there's like a lunch date that you have to take earlier on in the game, but if you do the lunch date, go straight from IFF to the Collector base, you can get a little blip with Kelly Chambers. If you're a dude into dudes, sorry. And this was after, and I read things. So apparently Jack and Thane were both supposed to be bisexual, pansexual options, and they caved to pressure. We're not even gonna go into that. But we've seen in all of these other games that they're willing to, that was really inappropriate looking, that the Dragon Age games and other games, like the LGBTQIA spectrum romances are not new to BioWare. They were not new when Mass Effect was made, and it irritates me. I don't want to say I'm fortunately a woman into men, but I'm a woman into men, so I have options the whole time. I have a friend who is a woman into women, so the only way she could romance the characters that she was into was to play as a male shepherd, which she didn't really like, but that's a rant, and that's another hill that I'll die on. Ooh, look at, I still have all this. Good thing I have eyelashes to do. And this one I don't want to talk about too much because this will start a fight. Jacob's loyalty mission. is a giant yikes from me. It's just a giant. They could have done so much better with that. They did him dirty with that. Like, and Jacob's a really good character. I hate when people are like, he's so boring. Did you talk to him? He's emotionally complex. He, of all people, knows what Shepard is feeling with all of this, with the whole like X-Alliance, now with Cerberus thing. And in my fic I have them. They're not friends. They're not like friends yet, but they're getting there. I think he's not the most interesting character, but he's way more interesting than people give him credit for. But his loyalty mission. Oh God, who okayed that? Who thought? Yeah, oh, it's not okay. It's not okay. I'm just gonna say it's not okay. And then a lot of my other complaints are kind of whiny, and I know they're whiny. So I love the games. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this. I was a late bloomer to games, so I got the Mass Effect games after they had all come out. So I got like the trilogy. No, I don't have it up. Like I got the trilogy case with the DLC and the access codes and everything like that. So I sat down at the beginning of Mass Effect 1 and I played it all the way through. And I always joke with people that I don't know why I like the first Mass Effect game. The combat is so clunky. I mean, there's so much. I mean, the Mako is clunky. There's so much about it that's clunky. But like, oh my God, the combat in 1 and the combat in 2 is so good. And then we run into 3 where like the combat is okay. This whole like affecting recharge thing is kind of killing me because I'm having fun with a sniper rifle in this current play. But the leveling is super wonky too. Fucking eyelashes. Just let me put a point and don't make me choose between just boost my warp ammo. Don't make me select like, oh, squad mate. Oh, just let me do what I want to do. This is, and I know I'm gonna get shit for it. This is 100% me being petty. 100% me being petty. It annoys me to no end that the Virmire survivor outranks you in Mass Effect 3. And it's totally the natural, like, you haven't been in the Alliance for like 2 years, 2.5 years. Of course they're gonna outrank you. It just annoys me. Fucking Kaidan. This shitty attitude. That's not great. That's just me being annoyed. That's me being impatient. Eyebrows. Again with the eyebrows. I am hoping that with the Legendary Edition, that they're kind of streamlining the eyebrows and maybe the options won't be quite so bad. Oh God, this is a lot of pink on my face. Oh God. That soaked a little bit. But the hairstyles are really weird. So this is gonna be an awkward demonstration. So I like hairstyles that imply that my player character has long hair. Because I know they don't animate it with long hair. But stuff where it's like up in a bun or whatever, that screams long hair to me. And obviously, like, can't all have my great hair. And it's fine in 1 and 2, but in 3, it's like your head, and then there's like an extra thing on it. So it's like, I literally started my first ME3 playthrough on this, and I had to redo it. I had to change her hair. I could not fucking deal with it. So some of the hairstyles don't translate over well. I'm hoping with the Legendary Edition they'll be better. So, and this is me. The DLCs for the Mass Effect games are not as good as for other games, other BioWare games. So like Bring Down the Sky is kind of laborious. It doesn't really, like, I don't feel like skipping Bring Down the Sky is hurting the story. I don't have the patience for Overlord. It's a good story. I don't have the patience for it, so I don't do it. And Arrival. I have a love-hate relationship with Arrival. I like that Arrival kind of plays into the fact that Shepard's under house arrest in 3. Like, I like that it makes that bridge there, but I remember the last time I played it, I was just like, the entire fucking, I just was, no. It's just not, I'm not gonna say it's bad, I hate it. It's not bad, but I hate it. Almost done. So this is me being stupid. So in 3, when you're playing through everything, so you have the missions that are priorities, that are like main quests, and when you do priority Tuchanka, that's when Mord dies. And when you get back on the ship, you're talking to the Solarian Council person, and he knows something's up, and he wants you to come to the Citadel. So you don't have to go from Tuchanka to the Citadel, but the game clearly wants you to go to the Citadel after Tuchanka. And of course, the Citadel coup is where Thane dies. So you're putting 2 major fixed deaths, as in the person has to die, back to back. Which, I mean, not everyone's a mopey, whiny, cranny bitch like I am, but it's if I do them in the same day, it is really difficult. It's a really difficult day when I do that, because I romance Thane in 2 and then going into 3. It's a little prayer that they say. Well, I wish that, I don't even know how to fix that. Maybe just make it less critical sounding that you go after. There's pink eyeshadow on my black brush, whatever. That's the only thing I think of, is being like, oh, well, you can come here now, but if there's stuff you gotta do, and do that stuff first. And then again with 3, and including those 2 missions, everything is timed. Which I get, it goes with the story, like, you don't want to wait around forever and, take your chances with stuff with the Reapers. But there's little things that don't sound important. So I will use my favorite example, because I love Jack. Grissom Academy. It's brought up by Trainer. It's brought up by your not really yeoman, but we'll go with the yeoman, your assistant. And she's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's this thing that I found, it's no big deal. So, and the thing that she's talking about is Grissom Academy. There's a Turian signal that she picks up is flawed because of something that the Elusive Man doesn't do. And if you don't do the Grissom Academy mission before the Citadel coup, you lose Jack. And when I say you lose Jack, I mean they capture her, they torture her, and she becomes a unique phantom that you have to kill later on in the game. But they don't really, I mean, I guess they can't hold your hand the entire time, but everything's timed, and if you don't look it up or you haven't played before, then you don't know what you need to get cracking on, kind of. Yeah. And that's, again, that's I probably shouldn't complain about that, because like I've been playing BioWare games long enough to know that shit's gonna depend on other shit. So, I mean, that's that. And I do write a fan fiction for that one, and I'm going really, really hard on it recently. It's been, I have a lot of personal stuff going on, and it's been kind of helping me to deal with that. And I'm doing better slowly with it. So, those are my gripes. That's actually my narrowed down list of gripes, believe it or not. If you want to follow me on the online stuff, so I'm going to put it over here. So we'll do Instagram here. We can do Twitter here, assuming I'm leaving enough space with my finger, and then I'll put Facebook down here or somewhere over here, maybe, whatever. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, because it took me like 3 tries to shoot, because I kept dropping things, and I got black makeup all over the place today. I got on my hand, I got all, so hopefully you enjoyed that. If what I said wasn't entertaining, maybe my goofs were entertaining. And I will see you whenever this gets posted. Bye.